Hello and welcome to the Sports Box. And finally, Liverpool are champions. Let's just cut into the chase. It's been 30 long years, and we ourselves never thought that Liverpool कभी भी title जीतेगा. It come to a point जहाँ हमें लगा कि because of the coronavirus हो सकता है the title will get suspended. But obviously that wasn't the case. And Liverpool have finally, after that long 30-year-old wait, have become champions of England. And obviously, a lot of reactions coming in from everywhere. Klopp had an interview, he got emotional. The fans getting crazy. The media absolutely love Liverpool. So obviously, they went really berserk, and all the players, all of them on social media. And my heart goes out to the fans who sort of started supporting Liverpool 20, 25 years back, because they've seen them through all these bad times. When the Premier League began, I think the last time we won the league was in the year 1990. So no one really thought that they'll have to wait for another 30 years to win the league again. But ye jo hua hai, this is nothing sort of, uh, you know, I don't know. I mean, there are no words to put it. There were times when they came close. There were years, especially one year where they finished second, jahan pe, when Brendan Rodgers was in charge. I think that was the closest they came before this. Last year was again very close, but I think Man City were in a class of their own. But ये साल, I don't think कोई उनके close भी आया है. The way they have performed ये साल, I don't think इतना dominate किसी टीम ने किया है in the past, I don't know, 15, 20 years or maybe beyond that. There are teams that have dominated, but I don't know कि ऐसा season आया है जहाँ सबने बेकार खेला and they have absolutely beat every team which came in front of them. So Puneet, your thoughts? I know I'm a Chelsea fan. You support United, तो बहुत खुशी तो नहीं हो रही है ये बोलते वक्त. But as a football fan, you do appreciate the victory. The effort that has gone behind it. जिस तरह से इन्होंने it's almost nothing short of a perfect season जिस हिसाब से इन्होंने खेला है प्रीमियर लीग में. बाकी कंपटीशन में शायद इनको सक्सेस नहीं मिला हो. But what are your thoughts on the entire journey from the first match till Chelsea actually beat Manchester City to make them champions, make it official, which was anyways going to happen. I don't think Chelsea have any role in this. It's not like the Leicester City wala season tha. But what are your thoughts? I mean, just sum it up for me.
So I think पहली बात तो Liverpool supporters को बहुत बधाइयाँ and like congratulations. 30 years is a massive wait, and as much as we hate as the rest of the football fans and me being a Manchester United fan, I think it's commendable the way Klopp has, right from the first day. I think in the पहली initial press conference थी, and he had said at that time that as charismatic as he is, he said we want to turn from doubters to believers, and that is what he has done. You see uh, the so-called snobbish Liverpool supporters, they've become massive believers, and they believe in the way the team plays. They believe in the way Klopp has turned them into a force right now, right? Like you actually um, and you and I can relate to it very easily because Chelsea were similar at that time, where people wanted them to lose. United were like that, where people wanted them to lose consistently, and that's the kind of aura which Klopp has built right now. And with all due respect to his hugging and touchline shenanigans and stuff like that, but you have to give him credit to the way he has handled the tactical matches as well, like in terms of beating City 3-1 very early in the season, to defeating Leicester away. I know, remember 4-0 at a time when Leicester were actually playing well. So uh, uh, they have beaten anyone who's come, like you rightly said, or Watford को 3-0 हराया. 3-0, so Watford से 3-0 हारे was a blip in their entire season. And let's go. I think we have a list of a few matches which we think जिसने इनको टाइटल जिताने में मदद की. And kudos to Klopp, kudos to his tactical team, kudos to his managerial setup. I think there are two main names which keep coming out from his days at Dortmund and even now here at Liverpool. So let's take it match by match and a few matches and the top players who we think have helped them uh, come to the peak again.
So obviously, if you look at it, जो मुझे लगता है कि was the potential title decider, although it wasn't the one which got them the champions, the trophy. But मुझे लगता है जो momentum जहाँ पे पूरी तरह से shift हो गई, obviously हवा तो थी because Man City didn't start the season too well. They lost Laporte obviously, and उनकी इतनी अच्छी हालत थी नहीं. And वो जो Man City Liverpool वाला game है, I think that just made them believe that this is not like last season where you can play, one of your best seasons of all time and still lose. They realize that this is not going to be that season, and City are not in the position that they once were. For the past 2 years, City ने बहुत ही खतरनाक वाला dominate किया हुआ है. And again, there was a situation like this again 2 years back when Manchester United was second under Jose Mourinho, or City absolutely they battered everyone who came them, came in front of them, more than 100 goals. Liverpool haven't been as attack minded as Manchester City were, but I think जो उनका सबसे बेस्ट चीज रही है उनके टाइटल विक्ट्री में, दैट हैज बीन देयर डिफेंस. ऑब्वियसली देव गॉट अ सेट ऑफ गुड अटैकर्स. ऐसा नहीं है कि उनका अटैक अच्छा नहीं है. आई मीन नो डिसरिस्पेक्ट टू the likes of Salah, Mane and Firmino, but I think वो जो game Manchester City के against था, that was very critical. And Fabinho out of all the players got the first goal मेरे ख्याल से, which was a long ranger. And
Boomer of a goal.
and एक बहुत ही बड़ा advantage था जो उनके लिए, that was the fact that Bravo was playing for Edison. So I think Bravo is the worst goalkeeper playing in the entire division. I know he's good with his feet. मैं ऐसा deny नहीं कर रहा कि वो अपने feet से good है, but जिस हिसाब
He's
की
terrible.
keeping वो करते हैं, I don't know बार्सिलोना में एक season कैसे, I think Champions League जीते थे उनके साथ, या was he, I
Part of the
don't
squad,
really,
I think. I
I
don't
think
remember
के
the
against rotation चलती थी.
yeah.
He was the manager. So I think बहुत ही खतरनाक वाले goalkeeper थे. That really helped them. And credit to them, man. They played a very good game. City didn't come close to winning. एक दो contentious appeals थे उसमें handball के, और वो थोड़ी बहुत controversy तो चलती है. And ऐसा नहीं है that कोई भी team जब ऐसे one-sided title जीतती है, there is an element of luck involved. There is some luck with injuries as well. आप देखेंगे तो पूरा season almost they've had, उनके जो key players है, वैन डाइक हो गया, सलाह हो गया, माने हो गया, फर्मिनियो हो गया, they've been without injuries for most of the season. अगर एक आधा मैच मिस किया तो किया. So I think a lot of factors, but this game, the 3-1 battering of Manchester City basically was them making that statement कि भाई इस बार तो हम जीतने वाले, कोई हमें रोक नहीं सकता.
I think the second game which we would like to get into consideration here is so City were playing Wolves at home at Etihad, and Liverpool were playing Leicester the same day and the same weekend. I think that was the case, October weekend, and so City were beaten by Wolves, and I remember Adama Traore 2 strikes. I only remember because FPL में someone who we follow regularly, Mr. David Monday, had actually taken Adama Traore, and he had him right from the first time. He must have seen the potential at that time. तो उन्होंने उनको लिया था, and he scored 2 goals, and both of them came anywhere between like they came between 85 minutes onwards. तो जब ऐसे हुआ तब, and Liverpool Leicester being Leicester again, someone who have played a team which has played constantly uh, pretty well in terms of their defense, were headed into the 90th minute at Anfield 1-1. So that meant Liverpool first time, even after gaining some ground on City, were about to lose their first points. And then the penalty incident happened, which people say soft. But yeah, like जैसे आप बता रहे हैं, काफी काफी matches होते हैं ऐसे जहाँ पर you end up winning. I think this is one season again where they have won a lot of matches after 80 minutes or after so or on penalty in post 80 85 minutes onwards. And no sort of disrespect, but I think that is what defines champions. Like you, once you know that even after 60, 70, 80 minutes, even if your team is down, even when you know that at any moment in the time you want to win the game, and that's your only perspective. Like even at 2-1, you saw Liverpool constantly attacking. Even after they went up 1-1, because definitely they wanted to win. So I think this is the काइंड ऑफ एटीट्यूड वो हमेशा गेम्स में लेके आए हैं, और हमेशा एंड अ सिमिलर इंसिडेंट हैपेंड अगेंस्ट एस्टन विला तकरीबन 1-2 हफ्ते बाद. सेम 1-1 स्कोर लाइन, 65th मिनट तक विला वर लीडिंग 1-0. एंड यू नो उसके बाद आई रिमेम्बर एंडी रॉबर्टसन ने आई थिंक एक हेडर मारा था, or and yeah, and then stoppage time में Alexander Arnold had scored. So these are the kind of matches
And
which make you believe.
the game which really strikes me is the game against Sheffield, जहाँ पे Henderson made an
Oh
error
my
he
god,
will never make again in his career, and
actually yeah.
that was a big mistake. And I don't know. He's one of the most talented young goalkeepers in the league, and United are lucky to have them or have him on their books, because I think he's going to be one of the best English keepers. मतलब ये हम बहुत ज्यादा ये कंटेंशियस वो चीज है, बिकॉज जो भी इंग्लिश गोलकीपर को रेट किया जाता है उसके परफॉर्मेंसेस गिर जाते हैं. सो आई एम नॉट
हाँ.
गोइंग टू से दैट, बट या ही सीम लाइक the current crop, में looking at his performance in the entire season, I think he's one of the better goalkeepers this season. और उन्होंने ऐसी एरर की, एंड दैट अगेन वाज इन द लास्ट फ्यू मिनट्स ऑफ द गेम, आई थिंक पोस्ट 80 मिनट्स. आई डोंट रियली रिमेंबर, सो डोंट होल्ड मी ऑन इट, बट आई रिमेंबर कि जब लग रहा था कि शायद नहीं हो पाएगा लिवरपूल से, दैट वाज द टाइम व्हेन, सो अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम इट वाज देयर ओन प्ले, a couple of times or a few times it was that slice of luck. Sometimes it was a contentious decision जहाँ रेफरी ने थोड़ा उनको हेल्प कर दिया, एंड बार बार ऑब्वियसली काफी कंट्रोवर्शियल था, सो इट कुड हैव गॉन एनीवेज. बट हैविंग सेड दैट, इट इज नॉट, आई मीन नॉट टेकिंग अवे द क्रेडिट which is due to the Liverpool players and the coaching staff. जिस तरह वो ड्रिल थे, जिस तरह वो सेट आउट करते थे, और आप देखेंगे उनकी मेजोरिटी प्लेयर्स थे काफी फिक्स थे. अगर आप उनकी फ्रंट लाइन देखेंगे, उनके फुल बैक्स देखेंगे, वर्जिल वैन डाइक देखेंगे, एंड ऑब्वियसली मिडफील्ड वाज द ओनली प्लेस जहाँ पे वो थोड़ा रोटेट करते थे, बट उसमें भी हेंडरसन वाज समवन जो काफी रेगुलरली खेलते थे. और फबिन्यो, आई थिंक इन द फर्स्ट हाफ ऑफ द सीजन, इन द फर्स्ट टू थर्ड्स ऑफ द सीजन काफी फीचर किया, और उन्हें काफी अच्छा खेला. आई डिडंट एक्सपेक्ट हिम टू play at the level he actually did, though, because I expected Naby Keita to be more of an influence जब उन्होंने उसको साइन किया था. पर अगर
That's
आप
true.
देखेंगे फबिन्यो बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट प्लेयर था उनके लिए, और वो जो डिफेंसिव मिडफील्ड वाला रोल है उन्हें बहुत ही अच्छे से अदा किया है. तो आई थिंक क्रेडिट टू ईच एंड एवरी प्लेयर इन ईच एंड एवरी पोजीशन. और आप देखेंगे तो उनके पास कुछ कुछ पोजीशन थी जहाँ उनके पास कोई रिप्लेसमेंट था ही नहीं. एंड जैसे आई डोंट थिंक रॉबर्टसन के लेवल का उनके पास प्लेयर था.
Correct,
इनफैक्ट
correct.
तो
Yeah,
फिर भी
yeah.
वो जब उनको थोड़ा डिफेंसिव खेलना होता तो वो गोमेज को खिला के ट्रेंट अलेक्जेंडर आर्नल्ड को बेंच कर देते थे, जस्ट टू मेक इट अ लिटिल मोर फ्लेक्सिबल. और वर्जिल वैन डाइक का कोई रिप्लेसमेंट नहीं था. आई थिंक वर्जिल वैन डाइक इज द बेस्ट डिफेंडर इन द प्रीमियर लीग करंटली बाय अ फेयर डिस्टेंस. आई थिंक
Fair distance.
वैन
Yeah.
डाइक और लपोर्ट के अलावा मुझे आज की डेट में कोई ढंग का डिफेंडर दिखता नहीं है प्रीमियर लीग में. द बिकॉज द एरा विच वी ग्रू अप इन, वो टाइम पे टेरी, कार्वालियो, फर्डिनैंड, कैरिगर, ये टाइप के डिफेंडर्स खेला करते थे, एंड दे वर लाइक टॉप ऑफ द गेम. एंड बहुत साल बाद ऐसा हुआ है कि बहुत ही सॉलिड डिफेंस से किसी टीम ने टाइटल जीता है. बिकॉज अदरवाइज अगर आप करंट फुटबॉल देखेंगे वो द पास्ट फ्यू ईयर्स, तो बिकॉज द गेम हैज बिकम सो अटैक माइंडेड, लोग ज्यादा अटैक की वजह से जीते. सिटी 2 साल उससे पहले चेल्सी भी जीता था, वाज बिकॉज ऑफ अ decent defense and a good balance in attack as well. एंड बट ऐसी सॉलिड डिफेंसिव परफॉर्मेंस तो काफी टाइम बाद दिखी, ऑल्दो उनने कंसीड किया है, ऐसा नहीं किया है. प्रॉब्ली अगर ये 10 साल पहले होता तो ये 28 गोल या 29 गोल जो उन्हें कंसीड कर चुके हैं वो थोड़ा हायर साइड पे माना जाता फॉर अ चैंपियन. बट अगर आप ओवरऑल देखेंगे, हायर साइड में नहीं, बिकॉज देयर 7 गेम्स लेफ्ट, इसलिए थोड़ा हायर साइड पे माना जाता. बट इफ यू एक्चुअली लुक एट इट, आई डोंट थिंक लिवरपूल इन एनी डिपार्टमेंट देव स्ट्रगल्ड दिस सीजन. हो सकता है वो एथलेटिको के अगेंस्ट वो एक गेम थी जहाँ वो चैंपियंस लीग में अच्छा नहीं कर पाए. चेल्सी के अगेंस्ट दे वर नॉट at their best, so they got knocked out of the FA Cup. But overall आप देखिए तो I don't know. And Puneet, one more thing जो मुझे I have to discuss this. मुझे लगता है कि बोर्ड की जो बैकिंग रही है for Jurgen Klopp, आई थिंक
Yeah.
जब उनने चार्ज लिया था, हम थोड़ी देर पहले बिफोर वी वेंट ऑनलाइन हम ये डिस्कस कर रहे थे, जब क्लॉप ने सॉर्ट ऑफ चार्ज लिया था, जो उनके पास फर्स्ट टीम मिली थी और आज की डेट में जो उनके पास फर्स्ट टीम है, उसमें जमीन आसमान का फर्क है. ऑब्वियसली ऐसा नहीं है कि उन्होंने आई थिंक ही इज नॉट पुट अ फुट रॉन्ग इन द ट्रांसफर मार्केट. उन्होंने जो भी प्लेयर लिया उसको अच्छे से यूज किया है. बट आप देखेंगे तो वो जो बैक टू बैक उन्होंने वो 2 विंडोज में की थी, एक में वैन डाइक ले लिया था, एक में उन्होंने एलिसन, फैबिन,
Alex.
किएटा और शकीरी. शकीरी तो आई थिंक शकीरी और किएटा हैव बीन 2 प्लेयर्स जो उनके अंडर प्रॉब्ली अपना फुल पोटेंशियल पे नहीं कर पाए, बट दैट्स आल्सो ड्यू टू इंजरीज. पर आप देखेंगे उन्होंने वो 2 विंडोज में अपनी टीम सेट कर दी एंड उसके बाद दे डिडंट हैव टू मेक एनी मूव बिकॉज अकेडमी से भी ट्रेंट अलेक्जेंडर आर्नोल्ड आ गए. सो व्हाट आर योर थॉट्स ऑन द बोर्ड और जिस हिसाब से बैक किया गया, बिकॉज देयर वाज एन आर्गुमेंट कि प्रीवियस मैनेजर्स को इतनी बैकिंग नहीं मिली थी. राफा बेनिटेज इवन आफ्टर विनिंग द चैंपियंस लीग उनको वो लेवल की बैकिंग नहीं मिली थी कि आप आप हाईएस्ट स्पेंडर हो गए इन अ पर्टिकुलर सीजन.
I think that's a very, very, very strong point, which I think most clubs in the country are struggling with, right? Like Chelsea, in fact, are doing pretty well. United are desperately struggling with it. Arsenal are seeing effects of it, where the board is not in alignment with the coach or with the entire structure that a coach wants to develop. Like it happened in case of United with Van Gaal and Mourinho, and now Ole is seeing some success because seemingly he and Ed Woodward are on the same page. So coming to Liverpool, I think Liverpool की the seemingly holy trinity कहा जाता है. Michael Edwards is the sporting director, and Mike Gordon. I mean, who has the second biggest stake post John W. Henry in Liverpool Football Club. So seemingly the team of Klopp, Michael Edwards, and Mike Gordon are very strong in the sense. क्लॉप को कॉन्स्टेंटली ये चीज बोली जाती है, या क्लॉप उनको कॉन्स्टेंटली द कम्युनिकेशन इज वेरी क्लियर.
पुनीत आपकी
The kind of Fabinho, but Fabinho, Keita, even for that matter, Minamino, so they bought it for 12 million. So all these are really, really smart buys, right? And so Gordon is also taking care of major projects in terms of उनके infrastructure हो गया, contract renewals हो गए, या recruitment हो गया in terms of the academic coaches. So this is where the entire structure is very strong. कहते हैं कि inside Melwood जो उनका training ground है, Edwards is has a very strong open door policy. I think which does not happen. I can only relate to what I hear about Ed Woodward, and now what I'm hearing about Michael Edwards is that Ed Woodward is very managerial in his approach in terms of he's the CEO, so he takes care of every decision. So in this case, from what I've understood, and I'm sure Liverpool supporters would know a little bit even more about this, is that Klopp, Michael Edwards, and Mike Gordon are very are completely in sync. So अब जैसे कहा जा रहा है कि लिवरपूल के पास पैसा नहीं है, so they know they. I remember they have some very shrewd signings. Shaqiri, okay, who came for just 12 million, who played brilliantly against United because I remember that. Then they took, I think, Matip at a very cheap 2-3 million, who has been a strong player. जब तक Gomez develop हुए थे, Joel Matip was a pretty strong player for Klopp. James Milner हो गए. I mean, Minamino, like I said earlier. So that is how then selling of Coutinho for 144 million, that was a massive masterstroke, right? Because everyone believed he was their best player, or then no one agreed कि यार they would ever be able to replace him. They completely changed the style, got in Van Dijk and Alisson with that money, and phenomenal change. And आपने भी कहा, right? अगर आपका defense strong है, if your defenses win titles, like Sir Alex has very famously said, defenses win titles. Their defense is the strongest in the league. Van Dijk, Gomez, Trent Alexander, Robertson को तो Jose Mourinho ने भी कहा था कि he can run down even after 90 minutes. Like that's how that's the kind of stamina he possesses. That's the kind of invigorated effort he puts in. So uh, and for to be very honest, the not so positive part for us is Klopp actually ये team को लेके अभी future बना रहे हैं. You see the squad, they have got really good young players like Gomez, Trent Alexander, Arnold, Robertson is very very good. He played the entire set of youngsters. I remember in Carling Cup, yeah, Carling Cup or the other cup that they have, yeah, Carabao Cup. So this is exactly. This is the kind of players. I mean, this is the kind of structure that they're developing, and and you kind of fear within fans that that they might actually rule for the next 5-10 years, like easily, if they keep developing the structure and if they invest. I hope they don't, and I hope the rest of the teams sort of come out. But you can see उनकी back end में इतने strong चीजें build होंगी. Like it is not only about Van Dijk, it is not only about Alisson uh, or a Salah when he was bought at the time he was bought. But the way he has won, the way he has made them play, the way he has gelled the rest of the players, right? Fabinho, Keita, उनके ही players है. Henderson was a Kenny Dalglish signing, but he has actually made him an inseparable part of the squad. He's captaining. He runs his socks off every single game. Wijnaldum, Newcastle से उठाए गए थे. Brilliant signing. So many matches. Divock Origi, Barcelona से लेके Everton तक. He has won them so many matches. So this is what greatest managers do. You have seen, I have seen in our lifetime. They make players play beyond themselves. They make players believe in their abilities. And जब भी आए हैं, जब भी a Divock Origi comes in, जब भी a Wijnaldum comes in on the pitch, you know that they are there and they're going to perform. So a Keita को Wijnaldum को replace करने would be very difficult. So I think this is all credit to. Like, I know we are giving a lot of credit to the players, and we'll come to the players in terms of how we sort of see them there and their performances. But a massive credit to the back end and Klopp in total support.
I think any team which wins a title, बोर्ड का भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रोल होता है. करंटली जो स्ट्रक्चर है उसमें तो बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट रोल होता है. आप देखेंगे सिटी में अच्छी खासी सिनर्जी है मैनेजर और बोर्ड में. उनको जो प्लेयर चाहिए होता है, दे सेट अ प्राइस. इसमें मिला तो ठीक है, नहीं मिला तो ठीक है. So the manager and the board are on the same page. I think that is very important. Chelsea have had their fair bit of troubles with the board and and the managers, and I think Antonio Conte के अंडर काफी issues थे, and obviously United have had a disastrous run of relationships between the manager and the chief.
Yeah.
But I think for any club in the current day and age, आप top clubs देख लीजिए, उठा लीजिए आप. You look at a Juventus, you look at the teams which are growing. आप देखेंगे so you look at a team like Bayern Munich, जो always have been very board oriented, but they get in the right players. They are finally getting in the right players जो manager की उसको सूट करे और एक अच्छी टीम बिल्ड कर दी. I think आप देखेंगे तो without spending too much in one window, उन्होंने एक अच्छी टीम असेंबल कर दी पार्ट बाय पार्ट करके. आई थिंक क्लॉप ने यही बहुत अच्छा किया था. एंड जब प्लेयर्स की बात आती है, आई थिंक मेरे हिसाब से जो प्लेयर ऑफ द सीजन है फॉर लिवरपूल, इट हैज टू बी वैन डाइक. आई नो बहुत लोग कहते हैं कि हेंडरसन हैज बीन वेरी गुड. बहुत लोग बोलते हैं ऑब्वियसली उनका जो अटैकिंग ट्राई, माने हैज बीन रियली गुड मेरे ख्याल से. बट आई थिंक जो वैन डाइक उनको एक डिफेंसिव सॉलिडारिटी देते हैं. I mean, I would kill to have a player who's that defensively solid that he'll make the player next to him look good. And obviously, unke fullbacks bhi, I think special mention to Robertson. मेरे ख्याल से I'm not, I'm not 100% convinced on the defensive abilities of Trent Alexander-Arnold. But Robertson, I can shut my eyes and say he's one of the most complete left backs. I think Ashley Cole के बाद अगर आप प्रीमियर लीग में एक ऐसा देखेंगे जो डिफेंसिवली ऑफेंसिवली बैलेंस्ड प्लेयर, ऐसा नहीं है कि सिर्फ ऑफेंसिव, ऐसा नहीं है सिर्फ डिफेंसिव. ही नोज हाउ टू डिफेंड वन ऑन वन, ही नोज हाउ टू अटैक, ही कैन पुट इन डिसेंट क्रॉसेस. ऑब्वियसली अभी तो गेम काफी ज्यादा अटैकिंग हो गई है तो उनको अप एंड डाउन करना पड़ता है. वर्क रेट, स्टैमिना, एवरीथिंग. एंड ऑब्वियसली माने लोग सलाह के बारे में बात करते हैं. आई थिंक सलाह इज अ वेरी प्रोडक्टिव प्लेयर मेरे ख्याल से. but what Mane does and the kind of goals he scores, the importance of most of the goals he scores, and what his game, his overall gameplay अगर आप देखेंगे जिस हिसाब से वो dribble करते, he goes past players, he takes a few shots. I think Mane has been really brilliant. Last दो season I think Salah के आने की वजह से उन्होंने अपनी productivity पे काम किया, because the season when Salah started I think उन्होंने इतने सारे goal मार दिए कि माने थोड़े sideline हो गए थे, तो probably that got the best out of him. I think that is what competition is. जो इंटरनल कंपटीशन होता है वो भी बहुत जरूरी होता है, बिकॉज जब आपके पास दो स्ट्राइकर्स होते हैं, बोथ ऑफ देम आर फ्रॉम द सेम टीम, मान लीजिए आर कंपीटिंग फॉर द गोल्डन बूट, दैट इज द बेस्ट सिनारियो एनीवन कैन हैव, बिकॉज आई डोंट थिंक कभी ऐसा हुआ है कि जैसे लास्ट सीजन हुआ था कि दोनों ने इतने, both of them finished second I think. Aubameyang, Mane and Salah finished in the race at the same point.
Joint top.
Yeah. So मतलब that is what makes a team. आप कोई भी एक पिन पॉइंट नहीं कर सकते. Probably they do lack a creative midfielder, but I think उनकी टीम का स्ट्रक्चर ऐसा है कि आपके जब फ्रंट थ्री इतने पोटेंट अटैकिंग प्लेयर्स है, आपको जरूरत नहीं है बहुत ज्यादा मिडफील्ड में से गोल्स की. आप देखेंगे तो मिडफील्ड से इतने गोल्स नहीं आए, बट इसका मतलब ये नहीं इंपॉर्टेंट गोल्स नहीं आए. जैसे दैट फबिन्हो गोल, Henderson has chipped in a couple of times this season at very crucial points. तो मुझे लग रहा है कि ओवरऑल अगर आप टीम को देखेंगे, दिस टीम हैज नो वीकनेस. आप गोलकीपर देखें, एलिसन को इतना क्रेडिट नहीं मिलता ऑब्वियसली, बिकॉज गोलकीपर्स जनरली भूल जाते हैं हम उनको, बट एलिसन हैज बीन ब्रिलियंट जब से ही साइन फॉर लिवरपूल. एक दो गलतियों के अलावा यू कांट पिन पॉइंट व्हाट ही इज हिम सेटिंग अ फुट रॉन्ग. तो आई थिंक ओवरऑल टीम आप देखें, और बेंच स्ट्रेंथ भी ऐसा नहीं है कि दे डोंट हैव प्लेयर्स हु कैन कम ऑन एंड क्रिएट एन इम्पैक्ट. जैसे आपने शकीरी की बात की, शकीरी एज अ सब्स्टिट्यूट प्रॉब्ली ये साल उनका इतना इम्पैक्ट नहीं रहा है. देयर बीन अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम व्हेन ही इज come on and made an influence on games. And then you also cannot deny the likes of Joe Gomez, जो probably first choice नहीं होंगे. Matip और उनमें थोड़ा होता है, but जब जरूरत है you want to play a little defensive, उनको right back पे slot कर लेते थे, because if you wanted to play a little conservative. तो बहुत ही brilliant balance है. And I think अगर वो एक आधा प्लेयर भी ले ले ये टीम में, so that will be more than enough to mount another title challenge next year. मतलब to be in the top two contenders next year as well.
Yeah.
They don't need to do too much work. And एक और चीज जो लास्ट चीज मैं बोलना चाहूंगा is the character, because बहुत बार होता है कि they played the best season they have last year and still didn't win the title. तो बहुत इजी हो सकता था कि वो पूरा मोराल छोड़ दो और चैंपियन लीग भी जीत गए, ट्रॉफी भी जीत गए, and pressure is down, but they went at it and they went with I think 110% and पूरी ferocity के साथ उन्होंने इस बार टाइटल को चेस किया. And luckily for them, even Manchester City weren't the team they were last year. Laporte की injury, I think Man City की title hope जो थे वहीं खत्म हो गए, because the rest of their defense is ridiculous. I think Otamendi, Stones, they are not players जो एक defensive line lead कर सकते हैं. So yeah, मतलब this is my pick. My personal pick would be Van Dijk. Who would be your pick, Puneet? मतलब आप भी apart from Van Dijk, तो obviously I think that he's been very important, but I think there'll be a couple of players जो आपके picks होंगे.
I think आप Van Dijk के बारे में एक चीज, by the way, just one striking observation. Andrew Robertson was bought for 10 million, and इतना smart buy है वो. He came from Hull. That is what I think makes Klopp even more special, right? उनके बारे में कहा जाता है कि when he comes into Melbourne into training, वो आते हैं अपने, we see him on the pitch, वो hug कर रहे हैं, and people are actually bonding very well with him. He's similar even in the background, right? वो अपने staff के साथ, अपने kitchen में जो वहाँ पर खाना बनाते हैं उनके साथ hug करेंगे, मजाक करेंगे. I mean, I know many managers do that, and all of these things get amplified. Culture is created. That's how we talk about corporate stuff as well. Like this, that's how culture, that's how players actually start feeling at home. I think we were reading about Marcus Bielsa as well. He roams in Leeds. जैसे वो नॉर्मल कोई शॉपिंग के लिए जा रहे हैं, वही अपने ट्रैक पैंट और टी शर्ट या शर्ट या जो भी पहने, उन्होंने उसको साथ लेके घूमने निकल जाते हैं. He behaves very naturally, and you can see the effect it has had on Leeds football club. So जब आपका मैनेजर इतना deeply involved है अपने क्लब के साथ, the minutest level, the culture will grow. It will only make people want to support you more. It will make वो छोटी छोटी चीजें where people are taking care of every player's diet, of every player's health, of their moods on a big night. These things matter a lot at such elite levels. So coming back to Van Dijk, no doubt, man. I mean, I think अगर उनको rating देनी हो ये season के लिए तो 10 on 10. Like that's how good and clinical he has been entire season. And मेरे हिसाब से Klopp, and he's around only 28 by the way. At least 3 या 4 साल हैं Klopp को इनके ऊपर to build his entire team and captaincy around him. Like Henderson भी है, but you can see the aura, you can see Van Dijk's aura. जब वो है आपके सामने, people have started, like teams have started actually attacking the other defender ताकि Van Dijk के साथ ना जाना पड़े. So that actually says a lot about the Dutchman, because they've only conceded some 21 goals. I think that is where it says a lot about him. Second, I'm sure like most Liverpool fans as well have started saying that is Jordan Henderson. I think अभी वो England के भी number 1 midfielder होंगे in terms of the player who gets definitely selected. I remember 2011 में Kenny Dalglish ने उनको लिया था for a good fee, I think around 20 plus million. He was young, he was 2021 at that time.
Sunderland, sir.
Sunderland, oh yeah, Sunderland, exactly. So, and everyone rated him, but he showed no skill. The thing is, his style of play, and I was just thinking about this yesterday, is very English. Okay, he runs a lot. He will put in the hard yards every single game. He'll put in your tackles. He will do those crossfield passes, which which look a little shiny, but all of this combined with consistent efficiency is what Henderson is. Apart from the captaincy, so I would not be able to say too much, but like his determination to win tackles, his determination to carry his team along while on the pitch, he'll constantly keep running to and fro. You'll see him aligning his midfield. You'll see him leading the midfield in terms of its structure, in terms of its defensive discipline. So ऐसे players, like a lot of me, again, taking a United context, Keane was like that. Roy Keane, absolutely on your face. Yeah, Roy Keane was also on his own player's face, but Henderson is completely on your face. You see him in a match, even on Crystal Palace, वो जाके I think IU को साथ झगड़ा कर रहे थे. Like that is the prime example of what Henderson is. He's in your face all the time. Like you will have not a minute of comfort when you are playing against him. So I think Wolves के साथ उन्होंने एक बहुत important goal मारा था जब one of the matches that we were discussing and Liverpool had won that game 2-1. He was responsible. He had a brilliant game. He scored the first, and I think he set Firmino up for the second goal as well, where Firmino just toe-poked the goal in, and Liverpool played very average. I think that is what sort of signifies Henderson. Like he might not be very good or excellent in terms of his skill set, but he will give you a 7 to 8 out of 10 day in day out, like without you having to put anything on it. Like you know ये बंदा pitch में है, will give you a 7 8 out of 10. So I think one of my definitely players of the season for Liverpool would be Henderson. And I think you rightly said, I think Salah को काफी golden boot और इसके सब के बारे में कहा जाता है, but Sadio Mane, I think even in the Champions League, was this year or last year when he scored against Bayern Munich, right from that time you see his उनकी जो finishing है, उनकी जो clinical touches आ गए हैं, the way he swivels around, the way one touch करते हैं, and he has still scored 15 goals. I think he was injured in the mid part of the season, and he has this knack of scoring crucial goals. Again, Aston Villa, they were down 1-0 till 87 minute, cross for Robertson into the goal, and then again for Alexander-Arnold's assist. So बहुत critical crucial goals, outlet for their counter attack play, connects with Firmino and Salah at the premium level. So I actually rate him higher in terms of his importance to the squad than Salah as well, personally, because I think
Yes,
if after Van Dijk,
because one thing strikes me when you say this, that last year jo Liverpool, the best match they played was a 4-0 win against Barcelona, the
yeah,
one at Anfield, और वो मैच में सलाह नहीं खेले थे and they still won 4-0. So
exactly.
that's
Oh
how,
yeah, good.
I mean, अगर obviously Salah is very important, इतने goals मारना कोई उसको ऐसे तो कोई replace नहीं कर सकता. But when you look at the big games, when you really need someone to step in, I think I would rather have Sadio Mane than Mohamed Salah. And obviously, having both of them is even more dangerous. But if you pick one of them, so obviously, I mean, Sadio Mane for his overall impact and his impact in big games. I remember Chelsea had Drogba, जो वो बड़े मैचेस में का फाइनल हो गया,
Yeah,
कुछ हो
yeah,
गया,
yeah.
हमेशा स्कोर करते थे and
Good
हमेशा ही
comparison, yeah. Good
yeah. So
comparison.
Sadio Mane is that kind of a player, मतलब, and what he's improved this season is कि this season and even last season is कि उन्होंने बाकी गेम में भी स्कोर करना शुरू कर दिया. So he start scoring against smaller teams as well, but बड़े teams के against, so he definitely is my pick if you want. Firmino मेरे हिसाब से last season के हिसाब से उनका current season नहीं गया है. I think he's had his ups and downs. He's had like barren spells as well. His overall play has been fairly good. ऐसा नहीं है कि जो उनका basic idea of him being in the team is to sort of link the two wingers, the white players, or basically unke liye create kare. But I think he's had patches where he wasn't playing too well. There was a month jahan pe, he was struggling with form, but because Salah and Mane were fighting all guns blazing, they were just going after whatever opponent came in front of them. So I don't think उसका impact पता चला, and that's what a good team does. जब कोई अच्छा नहीं खेल रहा, everyone else covers in and उसको support करते हैं. I think that is the best part of this team कि अगर कोई एक person is, Salah has had bad games, ऐसा नहीं he's played well every match, but जब वो अच्छा नहीं खेलते तो Mane chips in. If Mane is not having a good day, Salah, Firmino chip in. तो बहुत ही beautifully एक synergy बन गई उनकी टीम में. And I think if they don't lose any of these crucial players, I think this is a team which both our clubs should be really wary of, because we've been used to winning titles for the last couple of decades. Chelsea won a few of them. United have won a lot, but अब ऐसा लग रहा है कि सिटी एंड लिवरपूल के लेवल पे पहुंचना, you have to give the manager what he wants. You have to have managerial stability, and obviously you need some sort of luck as well, because कभी कभी क्या होता है, even good players you buy in the transfer market, they don't really turn out to be how good they were. Chelsea have had their fair share of flops. United में Pogba को जो levels पे expect किया था, it's been now 3 years now, मतलब he's still not performed at the levels he did perform at Juventus. तो बहुत बार ऐसी situations भी हो जाती है, but luckily Liverpool have sort of countered each and every problem, and then finally deservingly won the Premier League. I know Andar said the Chelsea fan in me उनको काफी वो हो रहा है. It doesn't feel too good, but at the end of the day, we are football fans as well, and you cannot take away the sweat and blood that was poured in by the entire club, be it each and every staff member and each and every player, the support staff, and the fans. The fans have been so patient. They've been they probably deserved it as much as Twitter में तो देखिए सबके fan base toxic होते हैं, तो आधे तो अपने fans से ही झगड़ा करते रहते हैं. That's how things are. But the fans, I feel for the fans जो 30 साल से support कर रहे हैं, जिन्होंने for 25-30 years एक league title उठाते हुए नहीं देखा. I think this one goes out to them, and I mean there are a lot of players in the last 5 years में किया, 10 years में किया. हमारे साथ कुछ लोग हैं still in minority, but I think Rafa Benitez के against they won the Champions League at that time, and they were constantly in the top four. So that was always an important element. But I don't think इससे ज़्यादा कुछ बोल सकते हैं, because this is like a perfect season. I would wish that Chelsea have a season like that. I remember 2004-2005 season tha. We conceded just 15 goals. We scored 72 odd, और बहुत ही मतलब
Yeah.
seamless season था. I think वैसे season once in a lifetime आते हैं. I'm not sure ये इसको recreate वापस कर पाएंगे या नहीं. But at this point of time, I just think that they should just enjoy and bask in the glory.
Absolutely. I mean, 7 games to spare, the earliest any team has won this season, on track for the maximum points ever. If they win all 7 of their remaining games, on track to win, to come up to, I think, 107 points, which I think English League ka record hai in all 5 divisions that they have. Like a few records which they can still create. There is a massive list of the records which they have. Like Liverpool, like Salah is one of first Liverpool player to score 20 goals in 3 consecutive seasons. Apart from Mike Lowen was one जो दो जिन्होंने 2 consecutive किया था, and 18 consecutive victories का भी record ये season बनाया है Liverpool ने, and a few more which they can do is that if they win the remaining 3, they would win the first side in the Premier League to. They haven't lost at Anfield, so that is some, and it looks quite impossible right now for them to lose. I think Chelsea also is at Stamford Bridge, or is it at Anfield?
And
Anfield, is it? Yeah,
we're
so that is
hoping to
one
save
game.
our record because Chelsea have a record for 18 wins, along with Man
Oh,
United and City as well. I think
correct,
there's
correct.
been a few teams जो एक blip तो हो ही जाता है पूरे season में, and not having that would be like crazy. I mean, beyond belief. So I would hope that Chelsea wins it, and motivation भी कम हो जाता है देखा जाए तो, and I would genuinely hope that because Champions League भी है नहीं इस season, because unfortunately they got knocked out of that. But yeah, I think I wouldn't be surprised if it happens because Chelsea is still, full of academy players and still a team, दो बेस्ट प्लेयर्स जो हमारे अभी तक ज्वाइन नहीं किया उन्होंने टीम को, सो आई डोंट नो वेदर वी विल बी एबल टू टेक देम डाउन. बट यस, आई थिंक it's just been a brilliant season, man. आप कितना भी अपने bias हो कुछ हो, but you can't help but praise Liverpool for what they've done this season. And I hope ये वापस हर season नहीं चले because both of us would hope that. But jokes apart, I think that this is a very scary team to face. Or I think for the next 3-4 years, if they don't have any mental, I think their mental concentration or mental lapses could be the only reason for them to step their foot off the gas. But उसके अलावा मुझे लगता नहीं इनमें कोई भी कमी, because देखिए even City won 2 back-to-back season and third season में थोड़ा dip हो गया, which is understandable, and I'm sure they'll come back next season stronger. But I think overall आप देखेंगे City is still relevant. एक trophy already जीत चुके हैं वो, and they're still in the Champions League and the FA Cup. So I think that is the kind of team Liverpool are building, and that is what scares me, because Chelsea probably are going to spend big in this summer and they are backing the manager. But you never know, yeah. One bad season and Lampard will be out, and then there'll be a new manager stuck with some players he wants, some players he doesn't, and then that cycle is a vicious one. I think Klopp को अच्छा बैक किया गया है, and initial first season में तो obviously वो mid season आए थे, after 2 months, 2.5 months he finished 7th, उनको एक और season दिया, उसके बाद he finished in the top 4 again, and then finally this is the 4th season जहाँ पे इन्होंने properly अपनी टीम assemble कर दी, and machine जैसी टीम assemble की है, to be very honest. It's like a well-oiled machinery जो जो बोला जाए वो करेगी and will grind out the expected output, if you want to put it in a very engineering specific way.
Right. So, just to sum up very quickly, I think right from the time Klopp came in, I think उनका sabbatical से इनको उठाया गया था, और and Liverpool were 10th, and a lot of people are putting it out there, right? कि 10th से first, it has been a journey, and everything, like title winning is a journey. Like for people who have been watching and supporting the club for 30, 40 years now, it has been a journey and a pleasant one, and hearty congratulations to all the Liverpool supporters who have been through the thick and thin with the club, and they will have their financial challenges, and we are talking about their future right now as to how they could build a legacy year on year. I think Rooney ने भी बीच में comment pass किया था कि it is very easy for Klopp to build the legacy now because now he has a very strong structure and he has to spend and spend wisely, and you can see उनकी नींव बहुत strong है. They are very well balanced, like we discussed. the structure between the sporting director and the stakeholder is very strong with Klopp. जब ऐसा structure है तो anything can happen, and but I think that is for the future. For now, again, as much as we don't like it, like a brilliant team. We hope to build a team like this as well, and it's good for English football. I think the quality of sport of football has improved with Pep and Klopp coming in, and congratulations again. And like I said, I was just tweeting today, like we just hope as non-Liverpool fans that the next title is 30 years again, takes 30 more years. But please enjoy the moment, and like this is one of the finest times for being a Liverpool fan.
Sure. I totally agree with you. I mean, as much as we have our biases, because no one is unbiased in this world, but I do think that this is something special, what has happened. And we only wish, if we were on the other side of things, I look at it, we would be rejoicing, to have won a title after 30 years. And after being relevant, it's not that it's a Leicester City who had no hope and they suddenly won a title. Also, that is special in its very own way. But having been relevant and still sort of coming close, missing out, and then finally having won the title, I think it is commendable, and it is, and all I can say is that it was worth the wait, because the way they won the title this season is absolutely exceptional. So I hope आपको ये वीडियो अच्छा लगा, and if you do, please click on the like button, and if you like the content that we've been posting out, we would also request you to subscribe to the channel. हम अलग-अलग sports के बारे में बात करते हैं, and we generally focus on cricket and football, and obviously we had to talk about Liverpool today because that's been going around, and that is something we wanted to talk about. So thank you so much for your support, guys, and thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.